Mr. President, pleasure to see you again. One more September in Kyiv. This one feels like it is happening at a very important moment on the battlefield. Ukrainian forces went into the Kursk region in Russia. You've taken a large amount of territory there. Has that worked? There are people in Ukraine who worry that you took forces away from the Donbass and that those lines are now fragile and weak, even though you have achieved success in Kursk.
Thanks so much. And thank you for this possibility to speak. And for it, so first of all, we had very tough situation on the east, especially on the east, in Kharkiv region, in Donbass region, in some of this direction. It's Vuhledar, it's Pokrovsk, it's Mirnogorod, it's a lot of different cities. People know about only Pokrovsk, but you're right that the situation was very difficult. And they moved very quickly because we didn't have equipment. Again, when we speak about equipment, how to equip brigades, really between us, it doesn't matter how many brigades stand on one direction if half of them not equipped. So you just lose a lot of people. You lose people because they are not in armored vehicles or in something like this. And they don't have artillery, they don't have artillery rounds. To compare the number, Russia uses 12 rounds. We used 1. 1 to 12. That was the difference. Of course, the idea with the Kursk is a risk operation. It's true, we understood it, but the idea was to move some Russian forces there. And I think it was right idea.
You know, we've talked about munitions often, and you talk about it a lot. Help us understand. So the U.S. has passed this big aid package. Europe has passed aid packages. Why is that not translating into enough munitions for you now? Is it that there isn't enough supply, or is it that you need more aid?
Everything. A lot of different reasons. First, it goes very slowly. Second, we need 14 brigades to be ready. Until now, we don't have, from this package of brigades, we didn't equip even 4.
So you wanted to equip 14 brigades, and
you
have not been able to equip 4.
No, it's too much. It's too much for the. That's why we used our interior production of drones. Not enough, but we did it. It goes. As I said to you, that then after 8 months pause in decision before the positive decision of U.S. Congress, what we did during these all 8 months, everybody has to understand, we used all we could. We moved what we have in reserves and what we have in storages, or what reserves brigades who we need now, what they had, we took all their weapons.
You have also been trying to persuade the United States and Europe to allow you to use the weaponry to strike into Russia. Explain why this is important. What do you want to hit in Russia that you think you should be allowed to hit?
Everybody is looking the decision of the United States. Everybody is waiting for such decisions. After that, they make decisions. It's true. And so we wanted very much to use this weapon and just to attack these jets on the military bases, not civilians infrastructure, military bases.
So you just want to be able to attack the bases that are being used to launch these weapons, these planes, these missiles.
Yeah, because these jets, these jets, from there they use not only missiles, they use these jets, and jets use per month 4,000 guided aerial bombs just on the east of our territory. 4,000 bombs.
And these bombs and missiles are hitting Ukrainian civilians,
schools,
energies,
universities, all our energy infrastructure. They destroyed 80% by these guided bombs. 80%. Now I said, we had some meetings with officials, and I said, we waited too long. Now Russia began to move their jets from 100, 150 kilometers, 300 to 500. After that, I will tell you, and that now we need more permissions.
Do you have permission now to...
No, till now, no.
Mr. President, you've talked a lot about how you also have a path to peace, that your military strategy is designed to make Putin understand he cannot win. Are you going to talk to President Biden when you meet him in New York about this plan for peace?
Yes, I will speak with him how to strengthen ours before peace summit, to be in a strong position, because diplomatic decisions or solutions, they are good when you are strong. Otherwise, Putin will not even, take place in it. And I think otherwise they will be not interested in any kind of circumstances how they can stop the war. That's why I have the plan. Yes, victorious plan, because for us it's victory, to be very strong and be ready for the strong diplomacy. That's why I prepared some points. 4 of them, the basic points, plus 1 which we need after the war. So I will share with Biden. It's about security. It's about geopolitical place for Ukraine. It's about very strong military support and available for us, and that we have to be free how to use one or another item. It's about economical support decisions, but which will be, I think, interesting. But I think that it's main thing. We are ready. If our plan, President Biden, will value and will support, and if he and his team can add something which will give us more strongless position, we'll be ready.
Will you present this plan to Donald Trump?
I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready to share it with President Biden. Then, of course, I think it will be honest and right to share it with 2 candidates, with Donald Trump, with Kamala Harris, and also I think that a lot of things depends on decision of the Congress of the United States, so to share it with the Congress. After these steps, we're ready to share it with the people.
How did you understand Donald Trump when he said, I can solve this war, I can end this war within a few days. If I get elected even before I'm president, I'll be able to solve it?
I can't understand it for today because I don't know the details, what he means and what does it mean. So my position that election period and election messages are election messages. Sometimes they are not very real, and that's why I think these messages can make us nervous, all of our people, of course. But I had phone call with Donald Trump, and he said that he is very supportive, and we had good conversation. That's why.
This is recently? When was?
I had only one during this whole period. Yes, it was, I think, 2 months ago.
And he said he was very supportive.
He will be very supportive, and he understands how it's difficult to survive during the war, and he will do everything to strengthen Ukraine. So I don't know. I mean, that's great that it sounds this way, and but that's why I want to share this plan, to hear his reaction.
What do you think is going on in Putin's mind? Because Putin has recently said he's willing to have negotiations, but he talks about what his terms are is essentially total surrender for Ukraine.
I think he didn't change his main idea, and sometimes he's playing just for some leaders who are waiting some emotions from Putin to hear something about peace. And sometimes he can give some messages to global south or somewhere, and they begin to speak. You see, Putin is ready for dialogue. What dialogue? He is a player, and he feels this weakness of the West and global south. He is finding where is the place where they are not in unity, where they have different interests. And I think that is the problem, that people have to understand that his mission is not to stop the war. He doesn't want to stop anything. because he doesn't need and he afraid very much of successful Ukraine. It's not about even victory.
But then how will the war end? Because you're not going to get a total victory, it seems to me. You're not going to drive him out of all of the Donbass and Crimea. He's not going to be able to occupy Kyiv. So there will have to be some compromise.
It's when you're very strong, and the other side knows that you're very strong, and you're as strong as possible to make influence on his society, not to be very happy with this war, because he afraid, again, I repeat it again and again, because I'm sure in it, he afraid only one thing: no leaders, no countries, no nothing. He afraid of his society, Russian people. And if Russian people are in danger, if they don't have comfortable life, if they live without energy like our people, they will understand the price of the war, and they will be not happy with it, and they will begin to influence on him, on Putin. That's why I said, make Ukraine strong, and you will see that he will sit and negotiate.
So when you were elected president, there was a fairly small war going on in the East, but now there has been a full-blown war, a battle of survival for 3 years. So it's a very different world. I mean, when we first met, you were wearing a suit. How has this war changed you?
Like I said to you, be very honest, I think this war changed all of us. It's true. The war was only on the east, and here in the capital, in other regions, especially in the west, and even on the south, which is closer to the east. But anyway, people didn't feel war. That was in our mind very mistakable that the war is very far. Now this mistake in some minds and some heads of our colleagues who are in Europe, they think that the war is far from. No. By the way, 800 from Kyiv to the east, to the point where the war was from 2014. 800 kilometers, like the distance between our border and a lot of European countries. So the war is very close, but we don't know about it and don't believe in it until the war came everywhere to Ukraine. After 2022, came everywhere to all the families, and of course it changed all of us, all Ukrainians, and all our families. Divided families, took a lot of lives, a lot of human losses, a lot of destroyed everything what we value, and so brought nothing good. So it's changed all of us. But I think the most important, if this war can change Europe, can change the world, this is very important. They have to understand that the war is close. Otherwise, if it will not change Europe and the world, otherwise, if the world will not understand it, we have to live in unity. Otherwise, Putin or some similar guys, you know them, can divide the world and can eat these pieces like a pie. And that's why we need this unity. And I hope that this war changed minds of people and changed minds of leaders, of global countries. We count on it.
Mr. President, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for it. Thank you for everything.